Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, guys, and welcome back to my channel. I hope you're having a beautiful day. Welcome to episode 3 of Mental Health in Sport. And as you can see, I'm sat here alone. So what's going on, do you think? So, long story short, this one's a Skype call because long distance we couldn't arrange a time to meet up. So, as you can see by the title and my big grin, today's Mental Health in Sport episode is with Michael Jamieson. Let's go with his little intro. Anyway, how did you get into swimming?
Just kind of standard route, I guess. I just was enrolled by my parents into a council learn to swim programme in Glasgow. You do it primarily as a life skill, just to tick the box really, so you're able to swim for going on family holidays and things like that. And then quite young I decided that I enjoyed it and I wanted to start racing, so I started doing the little mini league competitions and stuff when I was 7 and 8, and it just kind of went from there.
Were you a natural as a...
I don't think so. I mean, I didn't really like it at first.
I feel like everyone says that. I feel like everybody says that they hated it at first.
Yeah, just didn't like getting in at the very start, and then wasn't, just enjoying the social aspects. But even early to mid-teens and things like that, I wasn't a great swimmer. I only made nationals for the first time at I think 15 or 16, I can't remember which one. But the first year it went really well. So it kind of snowballed quite quickly. But I definitely wasn't a natural super young. I think I just always quite enjoyed training.
So how did swimming affect your mental health in general?
Yeah, loads of different ways, I guess. I think initially being involved in sport, it was really positive. I loved it. I think I made the decision pretty young that I wanted to be an athlete in some capacity. My dad played professional football, so I kind of knew all along that I wanted to go into sport because I was playing so many different sports at a young age and just really enjoying it. So I always knew that was going to be the route. So at that age, sort of starting high school and things like that, I loved it because I wasn't doing extracurricular subjects. I was spending more time training, getting introduced to the basics of strength and conditioning and nutrition and physiology and things like that. So I had a fairly decent knowledge of what sport was and what it took to get better from quite a young age.
Mm-hmm.
And then again, like many, you get addicted to it a bit. You love competing. I love training as well, but sport has loads and loads and loads of plateaus, doesn't it? Where you still have the same attitude and the same level of application and focus, but you don't get the same result. You don't get the same end product for a long time. And I think when you're a bit younger, it's for some it's harder to accept because that's when you want your biggest returns because you feel like you're sacrificing the most through social life, university, blah blah blah. For me, it was the opposite. It didn't feel like a sacrifice at that age because I really loved it. But it was a sacrifice later because I wasn't getting the results I wanted, so I wasn't enjoying it. Mm-hmm. Because at that stage, later in your career, you start thinking about what's next. And if you're not able to do the one thing that you want to do to the level you want, then obviously it has loads and loads of questions that largely go unanswered in your head. I peaked really young in my career, and I think that was 100% down to the volume of training I done when I was younger, early, late teens. Just doing way too much mileage, wasn't able to handle it, and then as a result, by the time I'm 25, getting really serious injuries and just not recovering at all.
So, see, when you were struggling mentally, what support did you get?
Again, I think probably similar to a lot of people. Initially, you don't really say anything. I think one of my really close friends had a parent that was really suffering when he was young, so it was always on his radar. And he told me when I was 16 16, 17 that I had similar tendencies, and that it was just something I had to bear in mind. And I think I was always aware of that. I always knew that I was sort of like self-analytical, that I couldn't just look at things as a result, as like one end result. It had to be looked at in 15 different areas, and there had to be a reason for everything, otherwise I wasn't able to like process it. From like 16, 17 up until around about maybe Commonwealth Games 2010, so maybe like a 4 or 5 year period, it was at a level where I felt like I could control it. So I was aware that there was like depressive tendencies and stuff, but it would come for a week and then it would disappear for 6 weeks, and then it would come for 10 days and it would be away for a month. So I kind of just viewed that as training. Like sometimes when you train, you go into holes and you have a rough week. So I viewed it as that, and that it was all right. It's not something that I should get comfortable with, but it wasn't anything that I should be worried about. And then after that, it kind of took on another level where I wasn't really able to control it, but I still didn't seek any support. So the down periods would last 2, 3, 4 weeks, where I wasn't really able to train at my best because I couldn't get any adrenaline going. Motivation seemed really low because I didn't feel like I was getting out what I was putting in. And then when I eventually did go and ask for support, it was like I had to go, really. I didn't really have it felt like at the time I didn't really have a choice, which I guess was a bit of a safety mechanism in my own head. So that was at 2013. It was pretty clear after the Olympics that I was gonna have to address it. So I think that was the stage when I knew that I was definitely not in control of it. And if I wanted to have a life after swimming, then I was going to have to address it. So when I did speak up, there was loads of support there, but I think that's also because I was still, at the time when I asked for help, I was ranked number 2 in the world. So I was really lucky. I was in a really good position.
Do you think if you were like, say, number 6, do you think you would have got that support?
I think round about there, yeah, but I think if you're like top 25, no, I don't think you do get it. In fact, I know you don't get it. If you're not on funding, you wouldn't get it. Even if you're in a centre. I don't, not to the same level, because I basically got referred the same day. Within 3 days, I was speaking to someone. I didn't quite connect with them, so the following week I was referred to someone else. I didn't quite connect with them. Another week, so it was a really quick process.
So what did you do to get out of feeling that way?
Well, I think initially I didn't know too much about it. I knew about the condition and the mood and like the thoughts behind it and why it happens, but I didn't know about it from a medication point of view. So I was on medication and stuff, and I never liked it from the start because I'm a really strong believer that you're, like, as difficult as it is to accept, your mental health is your responsibility. It's no one else's. So I never really enjoyed being on the medication. I always kind of knew that at some point I was going to have to do something to change the way that my head was. But at the same time, didn't feel like I was in a position to do that while I was swimming, because I needed to get away from. It was like a year and a half where I knew I was on medication. I knew I didn't really like it. I knew it was making me feel like shit. I wasn't really making any progress. But I just kept thinking, well, I just got to hold on till Commie Games, try and get healthy and get fit by then. And then see what happens. I wasn't strong enough to be able to have the right routines for long enough to cope with training and competition and stuff, so I kind of knew around then I was going to have to finish, and the way that I did eventually get some breathing space from it and start making changes was I just went solo travelling. I went to like a really intense yoga and meditation retreat that was kind of focused on people that worked in like high pressure environments and like sort of rewiring, retraining your brain. So it was properly intense. There's no Wi-Fi. There was no I was staying in like bunks in the jungle and stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
It was a proper full on, but for me that's what I felt like I needed to do to rewire my head. And then ever since then I think I've like always been able to sort of, I don't think it ever leaves you completely, but you're stronger at holding it at arm's length.
So you see the heart thing in, what was it, like 2013 or something? Was that anything to do with your mental health? Like, was it linked in any way?
To me, no. To everyone I spoke to, yes, but not directly linked to like depression and things like that. Just linked to like the way I was, really.
Yeah.
That was really strange, because it was almost like I enjoyed when that happened, because like it was almost like I'd won. Like I'd been able to do something that like wasn't really done before. And for people that weren't training with me at the time, that might sound like really self-absorbed, or like I was, I don't know, like thinking that I was working harder than the next person. Is like never intended to sound like that, but I was working as hard as I could possibly work ever. And as a result of that, something just tripped, and it was like a wee warning sign, like you can't actually push that hard. Afterwards,
did that make you like different in training, or?
No, I didn't really change anything. Like a week later, I was back to normal stuff, like max heart rate sets, things like that. The only part that I was scared in was when I actually went for the treatment, when they told me what they were going to have to do, and I was in the cardiac ward, so I was in like with people that were waiting for like a triple heart bypass and all that, because they needed to use the same equipment.
Yeah.
So at that point, I was like, shit, this is actually pretty serious.
Yeah.
And then seeing the specialist afterwards. At the time, he said he'd only ever seen it twice before in athletes.
Yeah.
And one of them, it happened twice in a year, and he had to retire.
So what do you do now, to manage your mental health after swimming?
Well, it's funny because for a long time I was really on top of it. I was doing loads of yoga, doing a fair bit of like breath work and meditation stuff, and like my productivity and mood and general health was like through the roof, like better than ever. And then since then, towards the end of last year, I had surgery on my ankle to reconstruct my ligaments there. And then I came back from that, so I was off. I didn't do any yoga or something for like 10, 12 weeks.
Yeah.
Came back for a couple of months, and then I broke my arm and my wrist.
So how are you using what you've learned from all of this to help other people? Like, you're obviously like coaching and stuff, and how are you using that?
A few different strategies. So one is like constantly monitoring workloads. So we never train the group we have to the point where they're like falling off a cliff and they're absolutely exhausted.
Yeah.
Because I think everyone would agree that affects your moods. So it's sort of feathering that balance between obviously trying to work hard enough to get a fitness change and to do some sort of character building training, but don't push them to the point of exhaustion. That's the first thing. Second thing is just in communication, like constantly, and this is a difficult one, especially when you're in like a low mood or you're not feeling that great. You've got to feel like you have a responsibility to the people that you're in the room with, that you can be open about that.
Yeah.
And also that there's always an open door, like constantly asking them how they're getting on, how school is, how they're managing their schedule, how they're managing relationship with parents that are accidentally putting loads of pressure on their sporting performance. How do they get away from that? How are they managing to have a social life? So the communication one is huge. And then just practically, we do yoga, we do breath work once a week.
Do you think that more coaches should do it like that?
It's hard to say because, this is only my second year doing it. I never thought I'd be a coach ever. I didn't think I'd ever want to be back in a pool. So I think it would be it would be unfair of me to say that this is the way to do it and this is the way that works, because I have so little experience and I have so much to learn in terms of coaching. Do I think that our group as a standalone is getting, like, is benefiting from the way that we're doing things just now? Yes. Yeah, I do, and obviously I really hope that is the case, but you know, I'll always be really open to learning from other coaches and stuff, and I'll be the first person in a room to put my hand up and say I don't know the answer to something.
So you roughly touched on medication. What's your opinion about other athletes taking medication?
It's totally personal. It's about the individual building a bit more emotional intelligence about how they feel and why.
So my last question is, what would you like to see for British swimming in the future?
Probably twofold. One is more opportunities to build knowledge from a coaching point of view and understand emotional behaviours, because it's paramount. It's more important than anything you can do physically. And if your group's in a better position to absorb the information you're giving them, they're in a better position to improve.
Mm-hmm.
And then secondly, taking the focus away from performance at a junior level. Like, the way British swimming looks at the importance of European juniors just absolutely baffles me. It's like kids around the country think that that's the Olympic Games.
Yeah.
And it's because of the way that British swimming market it. It's seen as this huge important pedestal in youth swimming that we have to get to, and that's one of the reasons, in my opinion, why coaches are, you know, got 14, 15, 16-year-old kids doing 60, 70k to chase that. Is to be fitter than anyone else, to get European junior selection, and then better for their CV. They get more funding from British Swimming, more support.
I just want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. Obviously, because he wasn't here, we didn't film an outro together. So I just want to thank Michael for this opportunity, because it's so incredible the fact that I've been able to have this opportunity to sit and chat to Michael and extract all the questions that I've been wanting to ask since I was like 12. So yeah, thank you, Michael, for this incredible opportunity. Please give this video a thumbs up, because it does really support my channel and the movement. Follow the Instagram page, because I will try and post more on it. And you're reading it here. And click the subscribe button to see more videos from me. And until then, I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.